bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. It's hard to yell when the barrel's in your mouth. Woo! Bring 'em out,
Rasslin Café.
bring 'em out, 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 bring 'em out.
Big Southern. Big Southern. The Rasslin Café. Big Southern. The Rasslin Café. Big Southern.
Bring 'em out, 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 bring 'em out.
Yeah, that's right. It's your homeboy, Killer K. This is the Rasslin Café podcast, episode 3. And man, I got to tell you, brother is hungry, thirsty, because I've been walking like a mother Canucker, man. I'm trying to get out here and meet with the homeboy, Big Southern, so we can do this podcast and talk wrestling with y'all. As of before I go in there and try to find the homeboy, the date of this recording is June 11, I believe. I'll ask Big Southern when I get in there about the date, because I'm tired as a motherfucker. Like I said, I've been walking all morning just to come do this podcast for y'all, and I'm running off 1 hour of sleep. So be patient, don't be a hater, be a congratulator. So now let's creep up in this mug and see where the homeboy's at. Alright, I'm just opening up the door here, looking around to see where the homie's at. Oh, there he is. Hey, what up, dog?
What's going on, man?
Man, so it looks like you're holding it down, bro. I mean, sorry that you had to open up shop here, man, but looks like the place is packed.
Yeah, man.
So how you doing?
Just chilling. Ready to eat something, man. Just been waiting on you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I might get something to eat too, man, but I'll wait on that. But first, let's look on the menu though for the podcast. You know, what do the people have available today, this week? And you know, I was recording some stuff on the way here, man. Today's June 11th, right?
No, today is June the 10th.
Alright, so yeah, you guys, we're recording this on June 10, 2017. So, alright, so I'm looking here on the menu, bro, and I'm seeing appetizers. The main course is Brock Lesnar booking. Appetizer is the Extreme Rules review. And we'll look around some more. Maybe we might not be hungry after the Brock booking burger. And I'm just kidding, y'all. There ain't no Brock booking burger, so don't go to your fucking restaurant, you know what I'm saying? Be like, hey, can I get a Brock booking burger? So yeah, man. Extreme Rules was last Sunday. We don't have to go match by match by match, as everyone has seen it. There's been tons of reviews already, so let's give our opinions about it. I mean, overall, how would you rate Extreme Rules? What did you think about the pay-per-view?
Woo. Well, it could have used a lot of work, and there were only a couple matches that really grabbed my attention, but I mean, it had my attention when I heard about it, and it didn't deliver the way that I thought it would. And that one match I'm talking about is with Alexa Bliss and Bayley. But the other match that I was interested in was the 5-man match for the number one contender for the Universal title.
Yeah, that, as far as I'm concerned, the pay-per-view, I've seen on the web that people rated it like a 7. Would you agree?
Oh, no. I think it was lower than that.
Yeah, for me, I was disappointed. But then again, I didn't have high expectations going into it either.
Me either.
Because it's just a throwaway pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Just to build up to SummerSlam, or one of the big four, which in this case is SummerSlam. That's coming up next, or not next, but you guys know what I mean. But the last podcast, everyone made we made our predictions. I was pulling for Finn Balor, and I remember I think you were pulling for Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and I was thinking that Seth Rollins was going to take it.
But the funny part was, you know how we do things here at the cafe, man. We're just like, this is who we want to win, and this is who the E is going to push. Because the funny thing was, we were talking about, I remember me saying that, hey, I would love for Samoa Joe to win, and you said the same thing, and lo and behold, Samoa Joe won. And now he's headed to the Great Balls of Fire.
Right, yep.
To face off against, Brock. And back to the pay-per-view, we'll touch on that here in a minute as far as that Brock thing when we get to the Brock booking. But I was extremely disappointed in the Bayley match as well, because it seems like Alexa Bliss has gotten the best of Bayley for the past 2 pay-per-views. The Payback, I think it was, when they faced off. And then this one. Normally, when the heel gets the upper hand, the babyface wins in the end, gets her redemption, his or her redemption. But that's why I believe, in the past, I've told you, away from here, but I just really believe after Mania, Bayley's been neutered, so to speak. But did you hear that promo at the before the match that she did?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not here to hurt people. I even watched Wonder Woman. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? That's what threw me a loop.
I was wondering where that came from too. I was like, okay.
I know, I'm like, cheap plug, I get it, but, that's the thing, man. I mean, the creative is just like, do they even know how to create characters anymore? I mean, I'm not here to hurt people. You're in the fucking wrestling industry.
Crazy thing is, Wonder Woman, she's a tough woman. So,
So, obviously, I gotta scoot my chair in, man, because people trying to walk by and get back to their booth and shit. But, so yeah, I mean, let's see what else. Sheamus and Cesaro won the titles, which, that was a given, but.
Yeah.
The only result that I got wrong was the main event. But I'm glad that Samoa Joe won it. And the next night on Raw, and I'm not gonna lie, folks, just because we do a wrestling podcast, you know, that doesn't mean that the product bores me sometimes.
Right.
So one day I remember waking up like an hour after the show began, and I don't have room on the DVR because my kids took up all the space with their cartoons and stuff, so I had to look it up on the internet, or I like that short attention theater that they do when they showed what happened earlier. So apparently Samoa Joe punked out Paul Heyman, which is the jump off point for their feud.
Yep.
So as you know, what's his name? Brock's gonna be retaliating, so to speak, June 12th. If you're listening to this after June 12th, you will already have seen what would go down between Brock and Samoa Joe, because they're going to be in the same building apparently. Now, if you were booking this match, the build-up, would you, Southern, would you keep them separated until they got to the pay-per-view? Because some old school bookers are like, hey, that's the best way to do it. Get the heel heat. Have the babyface get his comeback at the pay-per-view, his revenge. Because you want the paying customer to pay to see Brock and Samoa Joe fight. So would you keep them apart, or would you let them fight here and there?
Well,
pay-per-view?
starting off, yes, I would have them to face off, and because you already know it's going to get a great pop. Because you got a lot of people that like Brock, you got a lot of people that like Samoa Joe, and I would kind of give it like one of those things, how they did with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. They kept them apart, for a while. Then one showed up on the show one Monday, and then another show. But I wouldn't do them like that, though. I wouldn't do them like that. I would have it to where, they going into the pay-per-view, this one, I would do it a one-off like they're going to do this Monday coming. I'd have them to come out there and just, face off. And then after then, it would just be pretty much like a bunch of trash talk until the pay-per-view. Okay, Samoa Joe, he attacked Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman, of course, was pissed, and he called Brock and told Brock, hey, we are going to have to show him the beast, unleash the beast. And I'm sure Monday is going to be this episode between Brock and Samoa Joe is going to be the main reason why a lot of people tune in. And so I think they're doing this right.
And as boring as the product has been, I think that'll be the main reason why they fast forward on their DVR the next day. I'm just going to go straight to the end, because you're going to have to watch the whole show and get to the end to see those two cross paths, so to speak.
Well, they may start it off like that. They may start it like that. Have Joe come out, or have Brock and Paul Heyman come out and call Joe out.
Yeah, I was just saying that because I remember not back in the day, last year, they say Undertaker's going to be here, blah, 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 and you had to wait 3 hours just to see 5 minutes of him, man. That was like going to a doctor's office,
Now, it would be smart. It would be smart for them to leave that as the last thing to happen, because it'll keep people's attention, and people will... a lot of times they'd be wondering, when is this going to happen? When are they going to show up? Different stuff like that. So, We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been excited for a Raw episode in a long time, but I just hope I'm not disappointed. You know, when it's just going to be a pull apart type thing, like the referees step in the middle, they don't let them touch each other, but that's what the old school bookers would want.
Yeah, but a referee between these two semis, I don't see it. I don't see it. They are going to have to really go and get somebody some real meat up in that ring, because
yeah, they're gonna have
some big old boys.
They're gonna have to do like what they did with Undertaker and Brock a couple years ago.
Yeah,
when the whole roster came out and tried to break them apart, you know, just to make it more realistic. And then going back to Extreme Rules, it looks like the feuds that came out of it. It looks like we got Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt, because on Monday when Samoa Joe was doing his promo, Seth interrupted him. They had a match, and then Seth made some sort of smart ass comment about Bray, and then Bray cost the match for Seth at the end. So that's looks like it's setting up a feud to culminate at the Great Balls of Fire between those two, which to me as a viewer, I'm like, or as a naive fan, if I was a naive fan, I'd be like, wait a second, didn't he have beef with Finn Balor? Whatever happened to that? There was no follow-up to that. Now all of a sudden he got beef with Seth. So, they made a big deal about Seth and Bray Wyatt. First time match on Raw about a week ago or so. What are your thoughts about the feud that's going on now, or that's starting between Wyatt and Seth?
It's like the WWE. It's like the booking. It's like they don't know what they want to do. It's like they are doing everything, as they go. It's like they don't have any direction at all. It's like go whatever direction. It's just don't. It makes no sense to me, because, like you said, they started off talking about Finn Balor, because when Bray first showed up, he called out Finn Balor. Okay, so now you're gonna have a feud between him and Seth. I mean, it really does not make any sense. I don't get it. I'm lost.
I agree. I'm lost too, and maybe originally it was supposed to be Samoa Joe and Seth with their blow off, but they really needed, maybe their back was in the corner, against the wall, the creative team, because originally it was supposed to be Strowman versus Brock. So maybe they're thinking, hey, Seth and Brock won't pop a good pay-per-view buy. Hey, Samoa Joe, Brock, people will come out in the woodwork for that. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not trying to defend them. I'm just trying to figure out why the hell did they switch things, because I have a feeling that after the Brock match, after he defeats Samoa Joe, it's going to go back to Seth and Samoa.
Yeah, from what I don't understand, another thing that I don't understand, and I'll probably touch on this a little more. As much as I love Samoa Joe, I really think that this early, them putting him against Brock, knowing the direction they are going in already, it's already a given. It's predicted, because they have already pretty much shown what they are going to do. We already know Samoa Joe is not going to beat Brock. And, I mean, I don't understand why they would do this. It's like, what are they going to do? Are they going to let Brock pin Samoa Joe? Or is it going to be some kind of interference? What kind of match is this going to be? You know, is this going to be a no disqualification match or whatever? Because if it ends up being a straight up match, you know, yeah, I'm sure. I'm wondering if Braun Strowman is going to show up. I mean, it has to be a way to make both of these guys look really good without any of them taking a pinfall. Because, I mean, that would, in my opinion, I really believe that would kill Samoa Joe's momentum. I really think so.
That would make sense, though. That would make sense because he's only had like one loss since he's been on the roster, right?
Right. And to me, honestly, I don't even think he should have even suffered that loss. They should have kept him undefeated right now. I mean, I just don't know what in the world they are doing, man. But I know, too, from what I heard, Braun Strowman is going to be the next opponent for Brock at SummerSlam. But I don't know, man. I really don't. I just don't want to see Samoa Joe's character, you know, get screwed over so quickly. It's like, wow, man. You know, because I really, just like I've heard a lot of people, you know, talk on these dirt sheets and stuff, and I agree with them. They were saying, you know, Seth Rollins can, you know, lose, and it would not hurt his credibility. It would not hurt him because the fans already love him. They already are behind him. But with Samoa Joe right now, man, this dude, he's not been there 6 months yet. And, you know, a lot of people don't know who Samoa Joe is. Now, hardcore wrestling fans, yeah, they know who Joe is. But, you know, you have to build Joe up. And, I mean, it's not good to have him to come out against Brock so quickly and lose. I just don't think so. It's just crazy. And let me tell you something that Jim Cornette said, and I got to tell you this. Okay, so he was talking about, all right, we already know where this thing with Brock is leading up to. We know it's leading up to Roman Reigns beating him at WrestleMania for the belt, the Universal title. Okay, so Jim Cornette was talking about, you know, how things were back in the day and how a lot of these people build up their character and why these people became such fan favorites. And it was because the fans really were the ones who decided who was going to be, you know, the man and who wasn't. Okay, so in Bruno Sammartino's days, you know, the fans were behind him. That's why he stayed champion so long, because he was a big draw. Okay, so he was pretty much made by the fans. All right, so you got Hulk Hogan, same thing. Fans loved him. That's why he became so big. Stone Cold and The Rock. Those two guys were never meant to be the man. But they ended up being the man because the fans were behind them. The fans were cheering for them. The fans were buying their merchandise. The fans were, you know, getting in with the, you know, they were getting into it. Okay, so John Cena. As much as I don't care for John Cena, the reason why John Cena was made at first is because the fans were behind, but they were behind him. So the WWE had no choice but to make him the man. But when he started, you know, when they started just trying to stuff him down people's throats, that's when people started booing him because they were making him like he was invincible, like he was unbeatable. Okay, so now that the fans have smartened up today. They are trying that same junk that they did with John Cena with Roman Reigns, and it's not working. The fans are booing. They don't want to see it. So Jim Cornette said that he feels like the WrestleMania event, the main event, should be Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. That's what the WrestleMania main event should be. And I agree with that. I think it's too early for them to have Joe going against Brock right now and lose. So that's my little piece on that.
Yeah.
And I probably went way out, but that's okay.
It's all good. A big ass burger, man. So you had to get it all down. But no, I agree, man. It's the Samoa Joe thing, WrestleMania with Brock. That would give the E a year or so to build him up as a lean, mean, just kick-ass machine, right? Mm-hmm. And drop the title to Samoa Joe, Brock would. But if he was the chosen one by Vince, I could see that happening. But again, Roman Reigns, due to his muscular physique, he gets the nod. So unfortunately, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said, but the E doesn't give what the fans what they want. No matter what Stephanie says on social media during interviews, the fans make the matches. The fans make this, they make that. Really? Look at the crap that went down with Daniel Bryan. Think back to CM Punk back in 2000.
Yeah.
The pipe bomb time. Yeah. So.
And see, the reason why those guys were so successful in the WWE, it was because the fans got behind them. The fans loved them, and they had merchandise, selling like a mug, and that's why they had to go with it. And then see, the thing about it, that's why I told you not long ago, I said, I really believe that Vince has fallen out of touch with today's fans, wrestling fans, modern day wrestling fans. He's fallen out of touch because, come on, man. If somebody smart would be like, you know what, I got to go with the fans because the fans are cheering for these people and we are sitting here holding these people back, and eventually the fans are going to get sick of it and they are going to really start losing money. And I'm serious, as far as house shows, as far as the network, people are going to start unsubscribing. I remember when Roman Reigns won that, was it the Royal Rumble? It was something that he won, and a lot of people were so pissed. A lot of people went and they unsubscribed to the WWE network, and I think the people were so pissed off that the WWE network, it ended up crashing because so many people were, they canceled their subscription. I'm telling you, they better watch out.
Yeah, that was when Reigns won the Rumble in Philly.
That was so stupid. Yeah, I was just, and then let me tell you, in that Philadelphia crowd, boy, they from what I heard, they said it was almost a riot because of that. People are passionate about this thing, man. I'm telling you.
Even The Rock, when he came out at the end of that match,
was booed.
Yeah, The Rock couldn't even save him.
Nope.
So yeah, rumors are circulating here because they want to put on these great matches with Brock. It's his last year on the team. So earlier, we mentioned, Homeboy mentioned that it's a given pretty much that Samoa Joe is going to win because it was supposed to be Strowman, but Strowman had a little hiccup, so they're going to do that at SummerSlam, and then I'm also hearing that there's going to be a Finn Balor match against he and Brock. And I'm not sure about a Seth and Brock, because they've done that before, but it was a cheap finish because I think Undertaker showed up and chokeslammed Brock.
Yeah, I think they said that the far as the Finn thing, this is just rumors. So as far as Finn, I heard that it's probably going to like be a one-off or something, and that's what's going to form the Balor Club. Him, Finn Balor, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. So I would love to see that happen. So we'll see.
Basically, what they're doing is they're just trying to keep this guy busy until, the main attraction, which is him against Brock against Roman at Mania. So I guess a lot of us, unless you really like watching 10, 11 suplexes, we'll be tuning out every time he's on TV because it's been redundant, at least for me. I mean, he shows up, Paul Heyman does all the talking, he does his suplexes here and there, blah, 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 blah. His run this go around is just not as exciting as it was before.
Yeah, but I still love Brock though. And then one thing about Brock, I got to say this, man. The suplexes don't bother me. I love it. I love when he come out there and just straight up destroy them with those suplexes, and then he because he's just. Brock can get away with that. He can actually get away with that because, in my opinion anyway, and this is another thing, I truly believe that Brock is going to sign another contract. I believe he's going to sign another contract. I don't think this is going to be his last year.
Sounds like easy money, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the money talk.
I mean, it's not like he retired from UFC already, so he might as well just stick with that fake fighting, as one announcer would call it from back in the day, Mark Madden from WCW. So yeah, I mean, that's Brock in a nutshell for the next year, unless they swerve us. I mean, I don't, it would be weird to see a champion hold a title for a whole year. Unless he drops the title to Samoa Joe and then wins it back a week later or something like that. Or he wins it back on a technicality like, no, Samoa Joe, you did not pin. You pinned Brock, but Brock's foot was on the rope. The referee didn't see it, so I'm reversing the
decision, yeah.
And so, let's see here. So earlier I said I'm running off an hour of sleep, and so I'm sitting here thinking here as we're rambling about Brock. Let's follow up on these two angles here for Braun, as far as Kurt Angle and Enzo. I mean, first off, I gotta say, you may disagree, but I thought that whole Big Show thing that he did at the beginning of the match, I don't know if you remember that or if you were awake. That was dumb. Did you see that?
I liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought that Big Show. I thought that. Are you talking about when Enzo had Big Show to be his partner because Cass got jumped in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that myself.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't roll my eyes at it, but it was just like, why? Okay, so what kind of character is this guy? Is he a mean giant? Okay, so what's his role now? Is he
well, you already jokes? Know his Big Show pretty much is just there to put over the younger talent, and he's basically that he already said that he just want to have fun. That's all he wants to do now. I mean, Big Show has already done his thing. He's made his money. I'm sure they'll never put the belt back on him and this, that, and the other. Because I mean, what's the point? And I'm telling you, man, I'm really, really hoping that they are not planning on splitting up Cass and Enzo right now, because that would be a big, ginormous mistake. I really do think so. Neither one of them are ready to go off on their own. Because, first of all, Cass, he is not a good speaker just yet. He's okay. He's better than Roman Reigns, but he's not ready to go off on his own just yet. And Enzo just have a good mouthpiece. He's gold on the mic, but you know, by himself right now, no. It's not time for that. And it's looking like they are already kind of putting a ledge between them two, and I think that's stupid. I mean, a hedge between, it's just stupid.
I read some opinions that the reason why they brought in the Big Show is to set up the heel turn for Cass, so that could be his first feud, and Big Show can put him over, you know, as a threat, a legitimate giant. You know, maybe that's what they're setting him up for, because since Big Show is on his way out, they're gonna have Show hand over the torch. Hey, you're the new giant now. You know, which would be dumb because you got the other giant. What's his name? Strowman.
Yeah, that's what I was finna say. They already was doing that with Strowman, so I don't understand. I don't get it. I do not get it, man.
And then the Kurt Angle thing. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but I have a feeling it's gonna be Cass who's gonna turn out to be the guy who's been jumping him.
Okay, but who jumped Cass?
Maybe Cass
or was Cass faking it?
Maybe he staged it, because wasn't he at the end of the match with, you know, when Big Show and Enzo, when they were celebrating their match or whatever, their victory?
Yeah.
So to me, that was like, okay, you just got beat up and now you're backstage here with your homeboy?
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens and how it turns out, but I have a feeling it's going to be Cass be revealed as the perpetrator, and he's going to be like, between us two, he's always been the one that was SAWFT, you know?
Yeah, but I think that would be a big mistake, though. I honestly think so.
No, I agree with you, man. He's not ready just yet. Like you said, like we said on the last podcast, and it's unfortunate. Just a little bit more seasoning. The Kurt Angle thing. You know, I don't know. I have a sneaky feeling. I don't know why, because even though he's entrenched in a feud so far, starting with Seth Rollins, it might turn out to be Bray Wyatt fucking with him. You know, Kurt Angle?
Yeah, but I heard some other stuff too, and some of the other stuff I'm leaning more towards agreeing with, which is one thing I heard, you know, it could be Stephanie, because, you know, Stephanie and him back in the day when Kurt Angle first showed up on the scene, you know, him and Stephanie were really close. And it might be something with that or whatever. And then I heard too that, you know, Corey Graves and Kurt Angle both are from, you know, the same. They're from the same state and city and state, and they said it could be that Corey Graves lied, and he basically texted that. And basically, you know, he's trying to, and he's the one that's saying that Kurt Angle is a disgrace and everything. So, and then they said that the Stephanie thing could set up a feud, the feud between Kurt and Triple H. Now, to me, I would like to see Kurt get back in the ring, but not really with Triple H, though, man. I mean,
agree.
if he's gonna have more than one match, okay, that's fine. Have a match with Triple H, but not just Triple H. Have a few matches. Oh, and then I heard another thing about they may be trying to make Mick Foley and Kurt Angle co-general managers or whatever, or co-whatever they are, and it might be Mick Foley sending who sent that text, so that him and Kurt will be, like good versus evil general manager, commissioner, whatever they supposed to be. So
that, to me at least, wouldn't make sense, because one of them has to be the heel, so that would mean Kurt Angle might go heel. Even though these days, going back to what Stephanie said about fans make the product, they make the wrestlers, because the reason why they say that is because they're trying to cover up that they're unsuccessful with pushing whoever they want. Like Roman comes out, they want through the roof cheering, but instead you hear boos.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan, they didn't want to push him, but you get the yes movement.
Yeah.
Just a couple examples, but I think maybe it could be just a way to get Stephanie back on TV and to go and she's gonna have somebody battle on her behalf, and just to build up to Kurt Angle's return. Maybe it might be at SummerSlam. Kurt Angle might be wrestling at SummerSlam, but I don't want it to be Triple H, because it's all about putting over the talent that's here now.
Yeah.
There's no benefit for either wrestler, and they both should know that, considering that one's a Hall of Famer, the other one's whatever the fuck, executive, big timer.
But even if they did something like at a Survivor Series, like Team Kurt or Team Angle and Team Triple H or whatever the case may be, and Kurt Angle is on one team and Triple H is on the other team, and they have, young talent in that match with them, that would be straight.
Yeah, that would be good, because, they're not there to be the main attraction. The match is going to be solely focused on, building up the young bucks, quote unquote, the young lions that are in that match, the wrestlers from today.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see how the booking goes, man. I mean, my record has been terrible lately. Okay, so I remember at the beginning of the year when I was talking to you, bro, on the phone or whatever, I was like, man, dog, that Kevin Owens, I can't remember else who he was rolling with, I think it was back in October, even. I haven't watched. Triple H is gonna bring a NXT crew, and it's gonna be NXT guys against WWE guys. I was way off. I was like, wow.
Yeah, somewhat like an invasion.
Yeah, so maybe the E isn't as predictable as I claim it to be. So, to defend myself, I think it's predictable in the fact of, like, okay, you turn on the show, this is what's going to happen. But when it comes to the booking, it's hard to tell. But then again, who could figure it out when they're pretty much finalizing the script, or even writing the script as the show goes? So I need to try to settle down and try to enjoy at least Raw. SmackDown, on the other hand, I'm not falling asleep as much, and we'll get to that in the second part of the podcast, because we're gonna give our predictions about Money in the Bank, which comes out on Father's Day. So if you got a dad out there, go get a 6-pack, some buffalo wings and pizza, whatever, and sit down with your pops
and my wife's birthday.
And rock that pay-per-view. Yeah. So,
hmm
um, so let's see what else can we pull from Raw. Any other highlights, thoughts about from Raw? Alexa Bliss, let's revisit that. So where do you see that going?
Well, you already, now I'm thinking that Alexa Bliss is going to have issues with Nia Jax because of, she promised Nia a match, and she didn't follow through with it. I mean, she tried not to, but when they had the match on Raw, Mickey James and all of them jumped in it and everything, and they pretty much got who did they get disqualified? They got one of them got disqualified because I think they jumped. They either jumped on Alexa Bliss. I can't even remember who they jumped on, but
I think they jumped on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So I think Bliss won the match via disqualification.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna go on with that. I do like the fact that Alexa is the champion, though. I love that.
What I don't like is how Mickey has been used since being on.
Oh no, me either. I agree with you. Again, I don't like that.
I mean, she's only been in one match, I believe, since being on Raw.
Yep, and she lost.
And it was like in less than 8 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, and now they are screwing over my other girl too, Sasha. Screwing her over too.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell these people are doing.
Yeah, man. I mean, she didn't even show up on the show on Monday, right? She wasn't even on the show.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I mean, when we come back from the break here in a little bit, we could talk about some good booking, on SmackDown because of who's booking it. Yeah. But yeah, Raw was uneventful, evident by the ratings, and I don't know how much.
Yeah, I heard that the ratings are ugly.
What's the word I'm looking for? How much faith you have in ratings? Because some people just don't give a fuck about ratings anymore, but the E does because that's where they get their cash flow. $140 million a year. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have it here, but I think it was average. It was 2.69 million viewers. Now, back in the Attitude Era, man, it was highly, it was not heard of for them to hit below a 5.0. They used to get 6.0, 7.0, 8.0, 9.0, blah, 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 blah. Nowadays, they're barely reaching 3.0.
Yeah.
3 million viewers. So, in your opinion, bro, honestly, I mean, remove the kayfabe and all this other stuff and your honest opinion, what is it about the E to where they're struggling to get 3 million viewers now, whereas before, they used to get twice as many?
Well, I truly believe people are sick of seeing the same old, same old. People are tired of it. And like I said, people are smartening up. And you have these other wrestling organizations out here that people have ran to, like Ring of Honor. May as well just throw it out there. Impact Wrestling. You got Lucha Underground. You got New Japan, and I'm telling you, man, the WWE, they are going to have to do something different. And I think that the PG era is what really, really killed a lot of momentum. That's what I really think. So they are going to have to they're going to have to fix a lot of stuff.
I agree, man. I don't know what would it take. I mean, if it takes to have sex with a corpse, Katie Vick, what's up? If it takes, showing boobs and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah.
Man, I remember them days.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that ain't never going to happen. So they got to, I don't know. I don't have a solution. I don't even have a suggestion on how to get better viewers. I guess the only opinion I got is kind of like yours, where people are smartening up. People have other stuff they rather watch. Because I think Raw was ranked number 3 or 4. There's other things that they can watch. And plus, Raw is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
I remember I used to be excited when they first announced it. I'm like, oh, that's going to be cool. 3 hours?
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, wow. Oh, man, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And, so, I don't know, man. I mean,
I remember when it was 2 hours, man. It was just so much action packed. You know what I mean? Into those 2 hours, you were like, man, boy. And then it went off so quick because you wasn't really paying attention to the time. You was like, man. And then by the time when it would go off, you'd be like, oh man, it's already 11 o'clock. But now, shit.
Like, thank God it's over. Right?
Yeah.
Other highlights here. It looks like they're headed towards a rematch between Dean and The Miz. In my opinion, though, that was a pretty good segment. Miz there. I wasn't paying attention to it because I think I was putting my kids to bed when that segment was on. But one part that I did catch, he did something, and I can't remember, he was stomping on something, and a grandfather clock or something like that.
Yeah, and he was kicking it and stuff, and it was a present from Maurice.
Yeah, and Maurice got pissed off and left. So I'm sitting at first I'm sitting there thinking, man, they're gonna split those two up now. So, but yep. All year long, it's been The Miz and Dean. I mean, it's a carryover from SmackDown.
SmackDown, yep. And then, I do like that guy, the Drifter, Elias Sampson.
Yeah, he's when I said earlier about being incorrect or wrong about booking, I called it saying that he was going to cost Dean the match, but to the WWE's credit, they weren't predictable about that ending.
Yeah. And The Miz actually won that. Well, he didn't win it
clean.
He didn't. No. He did cheat to win, but without the help of the Drifter.
Yeah, and The Miz tried to get himself disqualified by, having his wife slap him.
Yeah, he tried to get, yeah, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's, Brock, in a nutshell. So just put it on cruise control when it comes to Brock. Just enjoy the time while he's here. Enjoy the matches. I will say, though, going back to Brock, since we already talked about and mentioned that the end goal here is to put the title on Roman, probably the only thing I'm looking forward to is Samoa Joe and Brock. And if they have a Brock and Bray Wyatt program, that would be interesting. But other than that, and then Raw, I don't know. You and I should apply for the creative team, bro. I mean, we couldn't possibly do any worse than what they got now, right? So, but we're gonna take a break. I gotta pour my ass some coffee because I'm falling asleep. And not because the podcast is boring, because like I said, I only had like an hour of sleep, so my ass is gonna get some coffee, and then we're gonna come right back and we're gonna talk money in the bank.
It's not about anything else.
Go to your room and lock the door, cause when you try it once, you want to try it some more. Size doesn't matter and that's a fact. It might be small but it's a big impact. Bust a nut, bust a nut. Grab a bag of corn nuts and bust a nut. They're lightly toasted and hard as well. Enjoy yourself, we won't tell. Everybody does it, they like it a lot. You can do it at school, just don't get caught. It takes a few minutes if you don't delay. Take your time, make it last all day. Bust a nut, bust a nut. Grab a bag of corn nuts and bust a nut. They're lightly toasted and hard as well. Enjoy yourself, we won't tell.
Corn Nuts, an intensely crunchy corn snack, comes in 7 nut-busting flavors. Bust a nut at a convenience store near you.
Alright, folks, we are back for the Rasslin Café podcast. And, you know, you would think that after eating all this shit that I've been eating since I've gotten here, man, I wouldn't be grubbing still, but I'm going to be grubbing on some chips, some chili cheese Fritos that I snuck in here because, you know, they don't really like that, you know. You shouldn't be fucking bringing in chips into a restaurant.
Yeah.
But hey, if they don't see it, you know, if you don't get it, ain't cheating unless you get caught. You know, like Bobby the Brain Heenan used to say.
Yeah, man.
But
So before we go any further, do you want to plug our Twitters right quick?
oh yeah, I was gonna do that. Cause I didn't do that at the beginning. You know, I'm like Monday Night Raw. You know, I'll make your asses wait. But yeah, you can follow us. You can follow the podcast and the website. The Twitter is at the Rasslin Café. You can follow Big Southern on Twitter at
Big Southern.
There you go. And if you also like to read, yours truly posts blogs at www.therasslingcafe.com. And you can also find us, you can subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher. And there you go. And, you know, like, tell somebody, spread the word.
Yep, give us some feedback.
Good or bad, you know, we ain't gonna cry.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go eat. You know, when I get pissed off, I just eat. So, there you go, guys. Next pay-per-view, at least for the SmackDown brand, is Money in the Bank, which takes place on Father's Day. The main event. That's a good question. What is the main event? Would it be the Money in the Bank match, or would it be the Randy Orton versus
the main event is going to be Randy Orton versus the modern day Maharaja.
Now that is going to be a lackluster main event if I've ever seen one, because of the backlash from the ilk, the IWC, that, you know, he's been getting. Even though, you know, some people, you get both sides no matter what. I mean, well deserved or not deserved, whatever.
Yep.
But it would make sense, because as history shows, the title always goes on at the end, and then whoever won the briefcase will try to come out and cash in, or they'll come out and stand at the top of the ramp and be like, okay, bitch, here's my bullet. Look over your shoulder kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Unlike last year's Money in the Bank, I think it was last year, Dean Ambrose just came out and cashed in, right? Do you remember last year's Money in the Bank?
I don't even remember.
Gosh, when, or was it the year before? I think it was a year, no, it was, shit, I don't even remember either. I just remember Dean Ambrose coming out, cashing on Seth after Seth pinned Roman because Roman got suspended.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's exact. Yep.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Excuse me, folks. These chili cheese Fritos. I forgot to grab my beer. So yeah. Before I
Hey,
die,
waitress, we need a beer over here.
All right, so let's start running it down here. So on the card from memory here, we got the Money in the Bank, Randy Orton and Don't Hinder Gender.
Modern day Maharaja.
The tag titles, Usos against the New Day. I will start off by giving. Let's start off with the women's title match, which really blew me a loop because this past week on SmackDown, the episode on June 6. They had all the women at the beginning of the show, and then Naomi came down. You know, they revealed the Money in the Bank women's briefcase.
Yeah.
Naomi came down, and then bam, Lana came out.
Yep, and Lana's been on Twitter begging Shane to put her in that Money in the Bank ladder match for the women.
And according to that SmackDown episode, if my memory doesn't fail me, I think didn't he make it official on Tuesday that she's gonna be defending the title against Lana?
Yes, she's going to be defending. Naomi will be defending her title against Lana. Lana came out there during that match, and the 6-woman tag match, and she attacked Naomi and caused Naomi to basically lose the match. So Naomi went to Shane and said, I want her. So Shane was like, are you sure? And she was like, yeah, I want her. So she got her wish.
What do you think about that? I mean, her first match on the roster.
I don't get it. It's like like people were asking, what did you do to, deserve a title match? But I mean, Lana is very popular with the fans, and a lot of the fans were like, we want Lana. So you already knew that was going to trigger the fans to, want that match, and they got what they want. And, I don't mind seeing two beautiful women flop around in the ring. It's all good. And Lana was looking really good Tuesday night. Really nice. Had her hair down and all. But anyway, yeah.
I don't see Lana winning that championship. I mean, because the last time a woman debuted on the roster and actually won the title was, I know you remember this one, man. She was, and probably still is, a sexy beast, man. Gail Kim.
Yes, she is still a sexy beast.
And I think it was 2000. There was a battle royal for the women's championship, and she debuted there and she won the title. She won the battle royal and won the championship. So, but in this case, I don't think they're going to swerve us. I don't think history is going to repeat itself. Naomi is going to retain. And where do you see Naomi going after that, if you agree that Naomi is going to win?
All I can say is, don't be surprised if Lana beat her. Don't be surprised, because it may happen. They may hit us with a swerve. So,
okay, so give me your perspective. Depending on the outcome, where do you see each woman going?
Whew. Well, obviously, if Naomi win the match, she is going to face whoever the winner of the women's Money in the Bank match is, and also the same goes for Lana. But I really don't know, man, because to me, truthfully, it wouldn't make any sense for Lana to win right now. Although, when was the last time WWE did anything that made sense? But okay, so if Lana loses this match, which I think, it's a great possibility that she might win it, because they are trying to introduce her as a legitimate wrestler, which she's already been a legitimate wrestler for a while. They just wasn't using her as a wrestler. But if Lana wins, I don't think she's going to keep that belt long. I think whoever is the winner of the ladder match is probably going to take the belt from Lana. And now this would be the kicker. If they have that match, the ladder match, before Lana and Naomi go at it, I truly believe that the winner of that match is going to cash in. And it's probably going to end up being a three-way match. Or if Lana beats Naomi, then whoever win that ladder match is probably going to cash in on Lana and beat her. I don't know.
I think if they do take the title off Naomi, it's a way to write her off TV, because I think I read somewhere, don't she got something going on, some sort of outside project coming up soon?
I think they already did the filming for that. They're supposed to be doing a spinoff, I believe they said, from the Total Divas, and they are going to be making a reality show surrounded with the life of the Usos and Naomi. So I don't know if that will have anything to do with these matches right now. I don't know, because I didn't hear anything about her taking time off to do it. I just know that they did some filming in Hawaii already.
Yeah. So I'm calling Naomi to win this match. I just don't see Lana. I mean, yes, she's been practicing. She's had matches while on the road with the NXT roster, and she's been improving, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think she's going to be not ready enough to be championship caliber. However, if she does win, like you alluded to earlier, I think she's just going to be a transitional champion, meaning she's going to hold it until SummerSlam, and then somebody's going to take it from her, whether it be the woman in the bank winner, or whoever her opponent might be. So we'll see. Naomi, I want to say that's a given. Let's see what we got here next. Let's do the tag match. The Usos and the New Day. Interestingly enough, when I was prepping for this podcast last night and doing some other things, I was on YouTube, and one of the things that I came across, because I was sitting there thinking in my mind, about this match, I'm like, I wonder if the Usos and the New Day have ever crossed paths. And I don't think they've ever had a match before, but I think they've had interaction before. And what the YouTube that I pulled up was when The Rock, I think they were in New York, and it's when the New Day were heels. The Rock was in the ring, New Day was in the ring, and then The Rock called out the Usos, and then they just whooped on the New Day just to get a babyface pop. So yeah. I'm digging the Usos promos, mean, their promos are filthy, bro.
Yeah.
You know, we got the tag team division on lockdown or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You know, blah 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 blah. So I'm really enjoying their promo work, and I've never enjoyed their promo work before. So, but
I I honestly, with this match here, I honestly do not see New Day getting these belts just yet. I think the Usos are going to retain, and a little bit down the road, I do believe that maybe even SummerSlam, I believe the New Day will take the belts from them. I believe that this feud is going to go all the way up into SummerSlam.
I would agree because you know that babyface chasing the
Yeah.
title. That's always been a formula that they use, and I think the match is gonna end like somehow. I think it's gonna be Kofi and Big E against the Usos, and then somehow Xavier is gonna get punked, and then one of them is gonna go attend to him, cause of this, you know, Kofi or Big E is gonna come. Or they're gonna get distracted by Xavier getting beat up or something by one of the Usos, which is gonna cause a distraction, and I think it's gonna be a cheap win. I don't think it's gonna be like a super kick, super splash type stuff. So I think that's why they're gonna drag it out to SummerSlam, because there's just gonna be some sort of cheap win.
Yep.
So I'm calling the Usos on that. So far, we're keeping it in the family. You know, Naomi, at least for me, Naomi and the Usos. Um, what we got here going on next?
Can do the women's Money in the Bank.
And at the last segment, we were talking about before we went to commercial break, you know, and throughout that first part, we were talking about the terrible booking for Raw. And this is where, you know, booking how it should be done, because look how they've been booking the women's division compared to Raw.
Yep.
You know, in my opinion, even though the SmackDown Live women's brand has been predictable to a degree, but Raw has been chaotic and a mess all over the place. But I've been liking the women's division a lot more, and even though I knew about the Women in the Bank match coming up, but I've known and heard and read about that. Hey, they've been wanting one. And I'm glad to see that they finally get the chance to do it, but I just hope that no one gets hurt. But I will predict right now, because this always happens in Charlotte's matches, there's always that moonsault that's a highlight of the match. Pop
Yeah.
the crowd. I guarantee she's going to do that off the ladder.
Charlotte she's awesome. She's
And-
really, really awesome, man.
And I think that's going to cost her the match, too. She's going to do the moonsault off the ladder, and it's going to exhaust her, whatever, and then I think a heel is going to take it. So let's eliminate it. Who are all... Okay, well, there's more heels than faces, right? In the match?
Well, actually, no, because you got. Well, actually, yeah, it is, because you the heels are really supposed to be. Well, Charlotte really is a heel too. She's not transitioned to being a face. She's basically just a fan favorite, but she's still a heel. So it's basically like heels against heels. The only one who is not a heel is Becky Lynch. Because, you know, Natalia is a heel, Tamina is a heel, the Staten Island princess with her little fine ass, she's a heel. And, man, I truthfully, man, with this match, I'm just going to say it, you know, the predictable thing to say, would be to say that Charlotte is going to win it, but I truly think that the Staten Island Princess is going to get it. Carmella. I think Carmella is going to win this.
I have a feeling I was gonna go on the limb here, because I subscribe to that theory of whoever's strongest leading into the pay-per-view won't win it. So Tamina was the one who got the pin last week on the match. So we got one more episode of SmackDown to go to see how it pans out. But I have a feeling Charlotte or Becky might be one of the women standing, or that team. Somebody from the Faces side is going to be standing up and pointing at the briefcase thing on the Go Home show. So
yeah, but you got to remember too. You talking about SmackDown? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but another reason why I called for Carmella is because you got to remember that moron James Ellsworth. He might do something to help her. See, she has help. The rest of them are basically going one-on-one or one-on, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. That's the only reason why I would pick the Princess, is because she got Ellsworth rocking with her. And do you think she would deserve it?
Carmella?
Yeah.
Now that's another question. Now, as much as I do like Carmella, she has a lot more room to grow. So, and then the thing about with Alexa Bliss, I have to compare her to Alexa Bliss because, her and Alexa Bliss came to the main roster around at the same time, and both of them never held the NXT title, which tripped me out. And Carmella was doing really good to me on NXT once they started using her, and and I don't think that they have used her enough right now. But if they do her like they did now I'm gonna get Carmella is good on the microphone. She's good, and I believe that if they were to let her do her thing, I think she'll do good. But as far as the way she is right now and the limitations, the limited way that they have used her, I would say no, she's not ready. But she might surprise us.
Yeah.
Like I said, right now, no, I don't think she's ready.
Well, I think it's a toss-up though. For some reason, I want to say Tamina's going to take it.
I don't think so.
Because there's a backstory there between, storyline-wise, there's a backstory there between Naomi and Tamina. It used to be a part of Team BAD.
Yeah.
With my girl Sasha Banks. So I don't know. I'm if I would have had to pick between the two, I have a feeling. Okay, I'm resubscribing to that theory. What I want and what the E would do. I would like to see Tamina take it.
I would too. I agree with you. I do agree with you on that.
But I see them doing Carmella.
Yep.
So, and either way, whoever wins, that's still a heel versus face. And Naomi did have a feud with Carmella back in Survivor Series, didn't they?
I
I remember when back October-ish, November-ish, Carmella
I don't
kept.
think they had a feud. I don't. Let me see. Today, I don't even remember. It's
No, wait, it was Carmella. She kept bombing on Nikki. Okay, never mind.
yeah, that's who it was. Yeah,
Okay, no. Because I was about to say they're going to revisit that feud, but. Um. Okay, so yeah. What I would want, Tamina, and then, I think James Ellsworth, unless the referee kicks him out of the match, tells him to go to the back. I see him being the reason why um,
Carmella
Carmella's
win.
going to win, and I see to intensify her heel character, to amplify it, James Ellsworth is going to try to, mush you on up and be like, not direct, but be like, hey, I was the one that
Yeah.
helped you win it, and then she's just going to kick him to the curb. You know what I'm saying? Just to legitimize her being a heel, just to write him off TV. But, I think he has a 2-year contract, so we're stuck with him for a while.
Yeah, I think she's going to use him to the last little bit.
And I think that's that was the whole game plan from the beginning, because when they first hooked up, I'm like, where they going with this?
Mm-hmm. Me too. I was kind of disappointed when they hooked him up with her. I was like,
Yeah, and so what else we got here? Shinsuke. No, he's in the Money in the Bank. What else we got? We just got, 2 more matches?
Yeah, I know. We're supposed to have the Money in the Bank for the men. I know, and
The women, we just talked about the women's.
yeah, we done talked about both of the women's, and yeah, and the Money in the Bank for the men is one of the ones that we need to discuss, and the one, the main event, Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. That's another one.
So let's do that real quick. Randy and Mahal. I mean, people were saying the only reason why Mahal was champion is to counter TNA, because TNA was trying to blow up in India. So WWE wanted to beat him to the punch.
Yeah, I heard something about that myself, and I heard too that WWE is trying to get some stock going in India with the fans and stuff. Have them, get more fan base.
hmm So
So
I don't know. I want to.
and you got to remember, this is going to be in Randy Orton's hometown.
Which normally means he's gonna lose.
Well, it used to be that they were going to win, but here lately, people in their hometowns been losing.
Except for that one dude from last week. They even mentioned it on the Raw Talk after the pay-per-view when it was Sasha Banks and Rich Swann. Sasha Banks like, hey, we broke the curse. He didn't lose in his hometown. Poking fun at creative, I bet. But, see, he won the title back in May, right? Or June. Oh, wait, May, right?
Yeah.
So, I think he's going to take it all the way to SummerSlam and drop it to, I want to say Randy. I think they're going to have one more match. And then whoever's going to win the Money in the Bank, they're going to cash in. What are your thoughts about who's going to win and where they go from there?
Okay, well, I truly believe that Jinder Mahal is going to beat Randy Orton yet again. But the only thing about it is I'm wondering if those guys who were helping Jinder is going to, which I haven't heard anything about them since, what was that pay-per-view? They were Backlash, I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Backlash.
I haven't heard anything from them. What do they call the something brothers? What is it?
The Singh brothers.
Yeah, haven't heard anything about them since then.
Yeah,
So
they were on
I
SmackDown
do
this past
believe
week.
that.
They were on SmackDown this past week
Well, that's how much I paid attention.
just to introduce the champion.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep. But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm thinking that, like I said, I'm going with gender because I just you already see the direction they are going. Now, if it was up to me, who would I want to win? I probably still would go with gender. I like Randy Orton and everything, but it's time for them to start pushing other people.
Yeah, I mean, give opportunities to other guys that need, more stock. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yep.
man, it's just who's okay. So as we're talking about gender, you got Drew over there on NXT, Slater on Raw, and this guy on SmackDown. It's just amazing to see where 3MB is at now, respectively, in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And on a side note, do you see Drew coming to the main roster? Drew. Yeah, because it's funny, when he returned, he wanted to work for SmackDown, NXT. So it's I haven't tuned into NXT yet to see his work and to hear. I mean, I guess he's cutting better promos and blah 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 blah. But I'll check it out one of these days. But it was just a side dish. I'm like, man, it's weird to see. Then again, Slater's still a jobber. So they only took him serious last fall during SmackDown. Now we got Money in the Bank. That's not the main event. I just wanted to talk about the Randy thing because I'm not really looking forward to that match. So we got Shinsuke, Owens,
Baron Corbin,
Zayn,
AJ
Styles. Yep. And is that it?
Yep.
There's only 5 guys?
Yep. Oh, now it was supposed to been. They were. Remember on SmackDown when that guy who won the Andre the Giant?
Oh yeah.
The Andre the Giant. Yeah. Now I already knew that they wasn't gonna put that dude in that match. I was like, yeah, y'all ain't gonna put that man in that match. And I'm glad they didn't. Because I think I would have been kind of pissed off if they would have put him in that match. Because
we're forgetting Ziggler.
I mean, huh?
We forgot Ziggler.
Now I thought you called Ziggler out.
Oh no, I didn't.
But yeah, I thought they were. I'm just glad they didn't put old boy. What's his name? Mojo Rawley. I mean, come on, man.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Now I do believe that he deserved to have some kind of a match for a belt, but not the heavyweight belt. Not the big belt.
He's more of a mid-card type guy.
Yeah, for right now anyway. He need to build up character.
So I don't see Shinsuke winning it. Owens winning it. Ziggler definitely. He's just there just to do some exciting moves, just to pop the crowd. See, there's Zayn, Corbin.
I can tell you, man.
I'm calling Corbin.
Huh?
I'm calling on Corbin. I say Corbin's gonna take it.
I am too. I'm going with Corbin. I'm going with what his name is? Oh dang, Baron Corbin. I'm going with him. But don't be surprised if Shinsuke do win it. Don't be surprised, because I'm telling you, These people, and another thing, see, Triple H is behind a lot of these guys too. So, Triple H might get his way. Well, Triple H like Baron Corbin too because Vince like him too. But when Vince and Triple H like you, yeah, you pretty much made. But see, the difference between Corbin and Roman Reigns is the people like Baron Corbin.
Yeah. He just got to change his damn music, though. I don't like his theme entrance, his music. And,
who, talking about Roman Reigns?
No, Corbin.
I like Corbin's music. I do like his music, but Roman's is what I don't like. But we ain't talking about lanes right now, so anyway.
Yeah. So, these respective Money in the Bank winners, who did we say for the women again?
Talking about who was going to be the winner.
Oh, yeah, for the women, we were saying Carmella. And for the men, you're picking
Baron.
And I'm picking Baron. So when do you predict these guys cashing in? Because, they like, sometimes they like to wait. Like, one time somebody cashed in, and I think The Miz, several years back, cashed in at Survivor Series. Seth waited until WrestleMania, just to name a couple of examples. If Corbin takes it, I'm going to have to say, if a heel wins the Money in the Bank, I'm going to have to change my prediction earlier to Randy. Because I've never seen a heel cash on a heel.
I have.
When was that?
See, who was it that cashed in? Oh man, it was at the time. I think wasn't Randy Orton a heel when the Miz cashed in on him?
Okay, here's what I remember. I remember that match when the Nexus beat him up, and then he came out. He just had a match with somebody, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the Nexus came out and beat him up. So maybe he was. I gotta YouTube that or Google that because I remember the ending. I just don't remember who he was fighting. And it was after the match. Nexus came out, beat him up, and then the Miz came out and gave him the skull crushing finale. So maybe you're right. But I just see Corbin. I want Randy to win. Okay, I think if Randy wins, he's gonna have a program with Corbin. But if going back to the championship, if what's his name wins, is it gonna be a rematch with Randy? Or, I'm just going to stick with my original prediction. So here it goes. It's going to go Jinder. It's going to retain the title. He's going to have that rematch at SummerSlam. And then after that, that's when Corbin's going to come in the picture and start, threatening, to cash in and all that stuff. Because for weeks now, he's after he wins, he's going to say, I can cash this at any time. I don't care who the champion is. If it's Jinder, if it's Randy, or blah, 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 blah. Cause
I just don't see Corbin taking it off of Jinder. I think somebody else is gonna take it off of Jinder, and Corbin gonna take it off of whoever take it off of Jinder.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to head to in a roundabout way. That Jinder is gonna lose the title to somebody, and then that somebody is gonna lose the title to Corbin. So you talk about Roman Reigns being hot shot to the title, man. This guy got hot shot to the title. He's only been on the roster for like a year and a half now, right?
Well, he actually been there longer than that. He's just been used as a joke though, because when he first came in, remember he came in as the Great Khali's brother-in-law, and they gave him a nice start, and then they just start throwing him all in these dumb 3MB and this and that and the other stuff, and it was just dumb. So. But he's been there for a while.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not paying attention close enough.
Yeah, but he just came back.
Yeah. Damn, Great Khali's brother-in-law?
Yeah, that's what he was supposed to be. That's what they were calling him.
When the
Great
hell was
Khali's. Remember when the Great Khali had that match? Was supposed to have that match with the Undertaker. What was the name of that match supposed to be? Some kind of Punjabi
prison match or something like
prison. Yeah, and that was around the time when Jinder came in.
that? Okay. Well, he doesn't excite me enough to warrant a Google search, so I'm good. I'll take your word for it. So yeah, that's the Money in the Bank predictions in a nutshell. You guys can tweet at the Rasslin Café or at Big Southern and let us know what you think. Again, subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Stitcher. Just search for the Rasslin Cafe. Space those words out, and we thank you for joining us, and we also hope you enjoy the pay-per-view. And
give us some feedback.
Yeah, don't forget to give us some feedback about how we're doing here, because if nobody gives us feedback, then how are we gonna know how the hell we're doing? So
exactly.
So on that note, folks, thank you for listening, and we will catch you guys for the next podcast.
Rasslin Café.